On myself. Do you guys hear this bird? It wants to be in this video so bad. Hey guys, I'm Tiffany Moore. I'm a creative consultant. I am a wardrobe stylist and I produce events and campaigns for organizations with a social conscience. So I started my career as a stylist. I left Buffalo with the understanding that you can get paid to play dress up. It blew my mind. So I went to New York and visited a few times to visit and just ask questions and do as much as I possibly could to understand what this was. My mom was a seamstress. My father was incredibly irresponsible with his money and clothing. So I just feel like those things kind of just like seeped into who I am, and I'm automatically like was pushed into some form or fashion of being in fashion. That worked out incredibly well. Didn't expect that. So I had the chance to work in film and commercial and on several different commercials. I've worked on music videos. I worked talking about music videos just makes me tired. Let me take a sip of this iced coffee. Yeah. So I worked on music videos. I worked on commercials. I worked on independent films. And then I started wardrobing. Bouncing around into all these different facets of being in wardrobe and in styling was just not satisfying. This is something that I thought I was always going to do until like the end of my life. It's the end all be all. I'm so excited to be able to be doing it. But it was empty. It was so friggin' empty. So I started wardrobing. I was assisting a couple of stylists who were wardrobing for athletes, and I got to understand the differences between just being a stylist and being a wardrobe stylist or a wardrobe consultant. You get to work one-on-one. You get to understand people's closets, people's styles, their needs, their insecurities, and that to me was where I found my footing. I get to work one-on-one with individuals and work with their bodies, work with what they think their restrictions are, open them up to new things, new colors, new sizes, new fits, you know, all these different things that we place on ourselves when we start to get dressed. Well, I'm a size this, and this doesn't look good on me, and that doesn't look good on me. And it's just like, yo, did you even try it? That's what you think. Did you try it? Well, did you try it this way? Like, just opening up my clients to try different things and then fostering their confidence within these new things is where I found my power. But that became less fulfilling as time went by as well. So I decided that I wanted to take these skills that I had attained in wardrobing, in styling, and then give back to the community. In my early years, I'm not old, but in my early years, I was a rehabilitation aide for individuals with developmental disabilities, and I was in nursing. I worked in nursing homes, and there were different avenues that all led back to being in service. So I decided that I needed to combine these things somehow, some way. It didn't make sense to a lot of people when I started doing it. But initially, like, my idea was just to have a clothing drive and take the clothes to a shelter or to a transitional home and have the women try on these clothing items and walk away with an understanding of why this works for you, how you can transition this pair of pants that you may think doesn't fit, but actually it just needs to be trimmed at the bottom, hemmed, and then taken in at the waist. So these pair of pants that I gave you for free for $5 are a custom fit. You know, those tricks of the trade that I know very well can literally change someone's life. So I started to do that, and the need for what I was doing became bigger and bigger and bigger until right now I'm in production. It's the 4th year for the Health and Power Beauty fashion show for Care for the Homeless. It is literally a dream come true to be able to produce this event. It is my 2nd year producing, my 3rd year on staff. I volunteered for the 1st year, and everybody, you know, that I was speaking to about the show and who understands my background thought I was crazy to volunteer. You got to understand what your plan is, and you have to understand what you're willing to do to get there. I knew what I had to offer, and I knew once I offered it, it would not be able to be overlooked for the future of that event and for the growth of Care for the Homeless overall. So now I'm in my second year of production with them as a paid consultant, and it's pretty awesome. What moves me the most in every single thing that I do is we all have the power to empower someone else. We all have the power to make someone feel amazing or just completely ruin their day. And, we need to choose wisely. So I understand that the platform that I hold with the work that I do deserves, the backstory. It deserves, you guys, I honestly do think that the development of my business deserves me to be telling the story of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how it came to fruition. Because that within itself is a very interesting story. When I was silent on YouTube for all that time, I was still collecting footage. I was still editing videos. My intentions were still with that channel to create and to share. But I was going through growth. I was going through personal growth, and sometimes personal growth shows up as turmoil. I had to detach myself from a lot of the thought processes that I had agreed to. So there was a lot of fear attached with jumping back in on YouTube. Will they like it? Will I keep up with it? Is it interesting? How do I look? All that shit, all of it played a major part in me silencing myself on YouTube. Plus the fact that I saw a very ugly side to YouTube very early. Very, very early. So I was turned off for that, and then all those internal things that I just mentioned were going on. And I've grown, man. I've grown. I am on my way to being a very free individual. There are attachments that I still have. We all still have attachments to things and people and ideas and thought processes, but the closer I get to me, the clearer I get with me, the freer I get. And the freer you get, the more you can actually tell your story. And that's where I am. And it feels good. So I'm jumping in.